scripture saying they act just like animals. They're going to shed blood and do all kinds of abominations. What is it about them? Because they are different, because no one had ever seen a form made from clay. All the other forms was made from either a smokeless fire or from light, from another light. No one had seen a physical body, and hidden in that body was the light of Allah Almighty. No one, that was the biggest secret. That was the biggest awe. Everybody was in awe. What is this? What does this mean? Azazel, who later became Shaitan, was saying, if this is someone that I have to obey, I'm not going to obey them. If it's someone who's not superior to me, I'm going to destroy them. It's destroy him. This was his mentality from Jump Street. So we have to really examine ourselves to see which way are we on. Where do I get my greatest pleasures from? Am I harmed when I don't have the material things that I think that I need? Or does it matter whether I have them or not? I'm still happy. That is the whole test, so we may know who we are, who we really are, and where we really are. And that's why Allah Almighty, we have to earn our way back to that station that our grandparents fell from, because they had no value for it, because they didn't know the value of it. We've come here to this plane to experience the knowledge of good and evil through ourselves. We don't have to die and go to hell. We don't have to die and go to heaven. All that is experienced right now in the present. And we're always in the present. We're always in the eternal now. Because our real beings have no beginning and has no end. There are no measurements for eternity. You can't measure it. There's no time involved there. There's no space involved there. It cannot be measured from one point to the other. It cannot be directed or influenced by time. It is timeless. It is boundless. It is spaciousness. And yet we possess that to learn of that affected our grandparents, Adam and Eve, to learn about the entity that brought them down from a place that we're trying to get back to. While we're here, within a twinkling of an eye, we can be at the highest station. Also, at the twinkling of an eye, we can be at the lowest station. So how is it that we can all have the same books and be so divided? There's something missing. There's something we're not getting. Something we're overlooking, and when we overlook that, it causes such a pain through our being that we look to satisfy that pain or to anesthetize that pain by any means necessary. Any means necessary. And we don't know why. And we take on attributes that does not contribute to our real being. hatred is not a part of our nature. Thinking that we don't have is not a part. We are eternal beings in a temporary body. How can we think other than what we really are if we are connected to who we really are? What is disconnecting us from thinking like a being who was ever present and will always be present regardless of what station or where we are and what form we're in? This is a whole test, and the whole everything in existence is watching those whom Allah Almighty has told everything to bow down to. Why wouldn't they watch it? Why wouldn't they scrutinize and analyze and think, what is the distinction from this being, from all other beings that Allah Almighty has created? All other creation that Allah Almighty has created. And Allah is always creating new creation. From pre-eternity to eternity. And yet, this being, who is from Adam and Eve, Allah Almighty is saying that this will be my representative. What in the world is that? Who are we really? And yet, we don't have a clue in our everyday existence. We don't have the zeal. We don't have the skill. We don't have the thrill and the happiness and gratitude of knowing that we are in existence. Just knowing, what? I'm here? Oh, what? I'm here? What? Now, how can you ever be bored? A representative of your Lord, how can you ever be bored? How can you never stop creating goodness for your life and the lives of others? How can it ever stop if you've never stopped? You don't know what stop is. You don't know what beginning is. You don't know what end is. And yet, Allah says, by the token of time, people will be lost except for those who have faith. Those who allow themselves to think that time really has a power over them do not have faith. They just don't have it. So there has to be a distinction in the 73 different sects. Of course, in those 73 different sects, the ones that are on the right way, there cannot be people who think in terms of the boundaries of measurements. There cannot be people that think in the way of cause and effect. They cannot think in the way of spaces and boxes and squares and circles. They can't think like that. That cannot be their thinking.